Morning everybody, my name is Peter C. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at a 2026 Winnebago EKKO 23B. Before we get started, real quick, this is all my contact information, so if you have any questions as we're going through this video or there's anything you want more information on, that right there is my cell phone number. So feel free to call, text me, email me with any questions you have. All right. So first off, this is a 2026, so this is a brand new one. A lot of questions are going to be, well, what's the difference between the 25 and the 26? Truthfully, not too much, but one major upgrade they did make was all the 2026s now have BF Goodrich KO3 tires. So Winnebago tries to always listen to what they call the voice of the customer. They pay attention to the kind of upgrades customers are making after the fact with their units, and that was one of the #1 things people were doing aftermarket was upgrading the tires. So all those are now standard on 2026s. So being a 23B EKKO, this is of course built on a Mercedes Sprinter 3500 all-wheel drive chassis. So all-wheel drive with all-terrain tires gets you quite a bit of access. This is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel, so it is a diesel engine. Puts out 208 horsepower and 332 foot-pounds of torque. And it has a 9-speed automatic transmission and a 5,000 pound towing capacity. So that's just a couple quick facts about it. To get started, we're going to take a walk around the exterior and then we'll head on inside. So first thing we're going to take a look at is going to be the lithium battery system in this. So this utilizes a Lithionics lithium battery. It is a 320 amp hour lithium battery. And one thing that I think is really cool about this battery system is that if you take a look at my phone, Jody, this actually pairs to an app on your phone, and it pairs over Bluetooth. So I can see all of the Lithionics batteries here on our lot. This is the one for this exact battery in front of me, and it's going to display the battery capacity, the battery temperature, the battery management system temperature, all sorts of facts about your battery. So this is a really cool way to monitor the health of your battery, and it also allows for Lithionics technical teams, if you have any kind of issue, it allows for their tech support to kind of diagnose on the spot and hopefully help you figure out what's going on. So very, very cool battery system they use on these coaches. So next thing we'll take a look at is going to be in this compartment is the gray water pump. So your gray water will run down into here. This pump will not kick on unless it senses water. So once it does sense water, it'll kick that back up into your gray tank. So pump's not always on, it activates itself. Up above here is going to be our cassette toilet. So this kind of swaps out for a black tank. This does not have a traditional black tank that you'd have to empty. You will have a cassette toilet. So everything in the toilet goes into this. This thing is really cool. You can take it out, you just twist this and open that, and you can dump it at any rest stop, anywhere there's a toilet essentially, you can dump this. And these are pretty cheap to buy, so a lot of customers will opt to buy extras as well, take it with them on the road. You know, you can take 1 or 2 extra, put them in the garage, and then deal with all that when you get home, deal with where to empty it. But it offers a lot more flexibility, in my opinion, than a traditional black tank. Down in this compartment is going to be our generator. So this is a 2,500 watt propane generator. If you watched our last video, if you're watching live, we just did an EKKO 22A, so that's the Ford Transit model, and that has a gas generator. So that is one of the main differences between a Ford Transit and a Sprinter EKKO. This is a propane generator instead of a gas generator, so it'll pull off of your propane tanks instead. Coming back this way, we're gonna have our 30 amp shore power cord. Now this is called a smart meter. So these right here, GLN, these letters will light up green to indicate that your power source is healthy, or it will light up red if it's telling you something is wrong with the power source. So if there's something wrong with the ground or potentially anything that could damage the electrical systems in this coach, it'll light up red and let you know to unplug it before you do any kind of damage. And then right here is just the solar expansion port. If you want to add more additional solar, you can do that. This is going to be our wet bay. So this is where all of our water hookup is. Gray tank drain down there. Up at the top is going to be your gravity fill. You have your water pump switch as well as a little patio light right here. So if you have to work out here at night, you know, it's dark out, you have that little light to be able to you know, actually see what you're doing. You also have a hot and cold water hookup out here as well, so you can just put a little quick connect hose in there and, you know, shower off your dog, shower out yourself outside. And then the last thing back here is going to be the garage. Now this is the most popular feature on an EKKO. This is why a lot of people buy an EKKO, is this garage. So all of these compartments are very, very well insulated. You'll see how thick these doors are. They're about 1.5 inches thick. And every single one of them is heated as well. So there is actually a heat vent on the inside that keeps this entire garage from freezing. The EKKOs are kind of made for 4-season camping. So all of these compartments, again, very, very well insulated and heated as well. And just to show you how well insulated they are, all of our latches are going to be these little compression latches where you'll see as I turn this, the final turn will actually pull it in. So what that will do is it'll compress it into this little rubber gasket seal right here and just seal all the air in there, keep any water from getting in. And then Jody, if you want to take a step back, we'll see our batwing awning here is completely set up right now. So this will cover about 270 degrees all the way around. Really useful feature if you're, you know, at the campground, you just want to have a little bit more shade for yourself, set up a lot more chairs under here, or keeps you out of the rain if you need to get into your garage. So if you're working back in your garage and it's pouring down rain, you can put your batwing awning out and it'll keep you completely dry while you're in there. So this is going to be another hatch for our garage, and this one's actually on gas struts, so it'll hold itself up. Again, really nice feature because it'll keep you out of the rain, keep you from getting soaked when you're in there. We have our ladder to access the roof back here as well. So this, the Sprinter EKKO has 530 watts of rooftop solar. So if you need to get up there and clean off the solar panels, like here in Colorado, you know, we have a lot of sun, but we also have a lot of snow. So if you need to get up there and clean the snow off your solar panels, you got a ladder to be able to get up there easily. And then this is just the other side of our garage. And you'll notice both of these garage doors have these what are called molly panels on here. So these are really useful if you want to take some carabiners and clip your gear to this, maybe, you know, ropes, hiking backpacks, hiking boots, bike helmets, anything like that that you don't want just kind of splashing around in the back of the van. You just go ahead and clip it all up right here and keep it nice and organized. Now this next compartment is actually the only compartment that does not lock, which there's a very important reason why. This is where our propane tanks are housed. Now this is another awesome feature about an EKKO. Most RVs that have propane, you're gonna have to go to a truck stop or a campground or something and have them put a hose in it to pump your propane. With this, these are completely interchangeable propane tanks. So same thing you would use on your backyard grill at home. You can get these at, you know, Home Depot, Walmart, wherever carries propane that has that cage out front, and you can just swap these out. It also allows you, if you're gonna be off grid for an extended period of time, you could bring additional propane tanks, put them in your garage, and just give yourself, you know, even more propane while you're out there. And down below in here is actually a hookup for those propane tanks. So if you want to bring a grill or, you know, anything like that that you need propane to run, you can hook it up right there and that'll draw off those tanks. Up above is going to be the Truma AquaGo system. So this is for your continuous hot water. And that will also run off of these propane tanks. On the side here, we have just these two little 110 hookups. So if you wanted to maybe bring your induction cooktop outside and set up a table out here to cook, you just plug that in right there. And then finally, one more storage bay here. All right, now we'll head on inside, but before we do that, just take a look at the awning we have set up out here. So this is a Carefree awning, and you can see we have the LED lighting all the way down the side. It's one touch, extend or retract. And on the way inside, we'll take a look at the door here. Now, this is a really nice door just because, again, Winnebago always tries to listen to what their customers want improved. So this used to actually be mesh, and dogs or pets would just scratch their way right through this. Now this is made out of sort of this like you know, chain material, very, very durable. So if you have to leave your dog in the van while you go out on a hike or something, or go down to the river, you don't have to worry about them scratching their way through this door. One other really cool thing I love about this door, this actually is a remote lock with the Mercedes key fob. So a lot of RVs, you have to lock your campsite door independently from the chassis. This will lock with the remote. So that same key fob will lock your cab doors and your campsite door all together. All right, now let's head on inside. First thing to note is going to be just our controls right here on the side. So right up here is our awning control. This is going to be our step override. So if we wanted to turn our step off so the step doesn't open when we open the door, we could do that. This is the coach battery disconnect. So if I flip that off, it's going to kill everything in here. And then these are just all your light switches and your two 110 hookups right there. Now, we'll start off with kind of the living area, and then we'll move up into the cab, and then we'll head back into the bedroom. So right now you can see we have the table set up, and this is kind of set up in the dinette version. I love this table. It's very, very movable. Like, you can swivel this whatever way you want. If you still want to be able to access the cab with this table up, slide it all the way to the side, and you still have enough room to kind of shimmy by. But this is a great table. You know, if you're entertaining at a campground, these front seats will spin 180 degrees around, and you have enough seating here for, you know, 5 people. You'd have 2 on this bench seat, 2 in the front, and then 1 over there on the side. So really nice seating arrangement. Now, when we want to remove this, super simple. All we're going to do is take this table and pick up just like that. Now, unfortunately, I have the post with it, but that will come out, and then I'll show you where this stows. So right here in the back, there's going to be a little slot. And we just go ahead and slide this in there. And then this little thing will clip on just to prevent that from sliding out while you're out on the road. And then your post for the table is going to go right down in this compartment like that. Now, right now we have this set up in kind of your dual couches. The table can actually drop down on these supports you see right here. You'll put the cushions in the middle, and this will be like about a twin bed across. So it allows you to sleep 1 more person. The other thing you can do when you're driving, if you have passengers, is this will convert into a forward-facing seat with a 3-point harness. So we'll pull these cushions out. Just lift that table up, clips in there like that. And then this cushion moves to the back wall. And now we have our 3-point harness right there. So this is a really nice kind of workspace. You know, if you're living on the road or you're working on the road for an extended period of time, really nice spot to be able to just sit with your laptop or sit down and eat. And then this side will also have a lap belt. So that does allow you to have 4 passengers in this van all safely. All right. Now moving up towards the cab, up above is going to be our entertainment system. So we have a TV and a Bose soundbar right here. We have these nice deep storage compartments on either side in here. And on this side actually is going to be an HDMI hookup, which allows you to hook something up directly to the TV as well as the 110 outlets. So I always say, you know, if you want to bring a PlayStation or an Xbox or a DVD player or anything like that, plug it in up there, plug it into the HDMI, and it'll go right to your TV. Also, you'll notice these clips all the way around. So we talk about how well insulated and how well built for a 4 seasons camping the EKKO is. That's just another one of those features. So there is an insulated blanket up here, which will clip all the way around the cab, all the way down to the floor. So it'll completely block off this front cab, just one less area where you're losing air. The Mercedes windows are not going to be as well insulated as the rest of the windows in the RV. So if you can block that off and prevent any temperature loss through that, it's going to help you in your cold season camping a lot. Now, up to the cab, just a few things to mention about this. So this will have memory seats. So all the way down there, you'll see a 1, 2, and a 3. So that just kind of allows you to set 3 settings for how you want the seats to automatically adjust to. Now the best thing to do with that is a his, a hers, and then a setting for what you need to be able to spin these chairs around. So these chairs have to move all the way forward, and then often you have to open the door to be able to spin them around. So if you set that 3rd button to that automatically, it prevents you from having to mess with it every single time you do this. The seats are also heated as well. Few other just quick facts about the cab. This does have adaptive cruise control and active lane assist. So really helpful if, you know, a semi blows by you on the highway. It's going to just kind of help you keep in lane. Your infotainment system supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then your backup camera will populate on your infotainment system, or your infotainment screen as well. And then the top rear view camera is actually a digital rear view camera. So that's gonna see out and behind you. Your backup camera will see below you as you're backing up. All right, so now we'll move back this way and go over some of the cabinets in here. So this is one of your storage cabinets. You have this nice steel brace here. So this thing can support, I believe they say up to 110 pounds. It's also got this little felt liner on the bottom. So anything you put up here, you don't have to worry about scratching the furniture or banging around and, you know, causing any noise. It's just nice, another level of little insulation up there. Now, one thing here, these windows are fantastic windows. So all of these windows, number one, will open in 3 stages. You'll hear those clicks like that. So it allows you to get all that air in here. And then they also have built-in day and night shades. These are called cassette shades. Pull that down, that's your day shade. So if you want to leave this open and get all your, you know, cross ventilation in here, you leave that shade down and it's going to keep all the bugs out. At night, pull up your black shade like that. And all of these windows, every single one, from the cab back is going to be double pane acrylic windows. So they're extremely well insulated. And on the other side, just another little storage cabinet up there. Again, you have this little felt liner in here, so nothing's gonna get dinged up. And same window back here with your day and night shades. You also have these little push button lights under here. So these are independent of any other switch. You just push the button. Now, heading back towards the kitchen, we'll go over the control panel right here first. So these are just all your controls. This is your solar charge controller right here. And then this is the controller for your fresh monitor, your gray tank monitor, your power, which is going to allow you to start and stop the generator, and it'll also show the chassis battery voltage. And then environment is where you control the AC from. So right now this is off and the fan is off, but we would just go to cool and adjust the fan temperature to auto, high, or low. And then this is the inverter. So right now the inverter is turned on. Up above, we have some more storage. This is a really deep compartment up here. So you can fit a lot of things up there. And you do have a 110 volt hookup in the back, as well as a little cigarette outlet as well. All right, so now we'll start going over the kitchen. So this is our refrigerator. Decent size for a little Class C like this. Decent size freezer as well. I mean, you could fit probably 2 pints of ice cream in there if you wanted to. So this is a compressor-driven refrigerator. What that means is it's not going to be affected by the rocking of the coach. If you took a household refrigerator right out of your kitchen at home and threw it in an RV, it's not going to operate well if it's not on a completely level surface. Being compressor-driven kind of removes that issue. On the other side in the kitchen, starting up top, there is a long little storage compartment up here. So this is a good spot if you want to put cutting boards or maybe skillets, pans, anything like that. You could stow it up here. And again, like every other compartment, this is lined in felt, so it's not going to scratch anything. Down below, we have a convection microwave. So again, if you watched our last video on an EKKO 23B, the one on the Ford Transit chassis, this is another important distinction. There's a few things in the kitchen that are different. But you can only get a convection microwave on the Sprinter. The microwave on the Transit is just a standard microwave. So down below, another difference between the Transit's going to utilize a 2-burner propane stove. The Sprinter utilizes this little removable induction cooktop. So as I mentioned before, if you wanted to, you could just take this outside to those 110 hookups. You could do all your cooking outside. If you're cooking fish or searing burgers or steak or something, you don't want to get all that smoke in here, just take this outside and plug it in. So I like that a little bit more than the gas cooktop because it just allows you that flexibility to be able to do what you want with it. Then we have 2 more storage drawers in here. That's just the plate for the microwave. And then this will actually go on top of here and just provide a little bit more counter space for you. Really nice in a small RV if you actually do cook in it, to just have a little bit more counter space to be able to do your prep. So down underneath the sink, have a little bit more storage space in there. And then right up here is our other water pump switch. So if you need to use the sink. And then we have one more storage compartment up above. Now I really like this one because these are removable and you can slide them to whatever depth you desire. And up top is actually going to be another 110 hookup. So if you're somebody that travels, that you really like coffee, you have to have coffee every morning, this is a great place to just put your coffee maker in here, leave it plugged in and just leave it in here. You'll have a dedicated spot for it. You don't have to take it out every day, put it on the countertop and go through all that. And then we also have a nice stainless steel sink. And your sprayer nozzle is on a hose in here. There's also a window behind the kitchen, which I think is a really nice feature just to get you more airflow. Again, day and night shades in here. So if you're cooking, open that window. It's just going to get you all the more air in here that you want when you're cooking. So now we'll head into the bathroom. The EKKO has one of the coolest bathrooms for Class C. So right now this is set up to have your toilet and your sink be accessible. You'll see one storage compartment up there above. And again, same kind of windows as everywhere else. So you can see it's very roomy in there. I mean, if I go in here and stand, there's plenty of room for me. I'm not absolutely crammed in here. But when you're ready to take a shower, what you're gonna do is grab this panel right here on the wall and pull this over. And now this converts into your shower. And again, very, very roomy. So I'm just about 6 foot with shoes on. You can see there's still several inches of space between me and the ceiling. So plenty of room in here. You do have a curtain right here that'll pull all the way around on a track. So it just prevents you from getting water anywhere you don't want. So really neat shower on this. And then one more thing on your sprayer nozzle here, you'll have this little button. So anytime you're in an RV, it's very important to conserve water as much as you can. This just switches on and off the water. So your water pump's on, it's gonna be pumping water, but if you don't want, if you wanna get yourself wet and then lather up with soap, you can turn your water off and then flip it back on when you're ready to rinse. That way you're really gonna conserve as much water as you can. And while we're on that note, fresh and gray tank capacities on this, we have 50 gallons of fresh water and a 51-gallon gray tank. So tons of fresh water to be able to keep you out there for an extended period of time. Now heading back towards the bedroom, on the wall right here is going to be the Truma Vario heat control. So this will control your Truma Aqua Go we looked at outside, which is your continuous hot water, as well as the coach heat. So that right there is going to be the coach heat. See, right now we're off. And this again will run off of propane from those propane tanks outside. These are just all your controls for that. And then down below are our light switches. One of these is for a little night light right down by my feet. And then the other one is for the light in the bathroom. All right, now, Jody, I'll let you get a kind of video of what the bedroom looks like set up right now. So this is a convertible bed system. So right now it's set up to be about the size of a king bed with all the cushions in place. So you can sleep north to south or east to west, whatever you want to do there. Very comfortable. But if you don't want to use it that way, all you're going to do is take this cushion, flip it over like that, and now we're set up for more of a twin bed configuration. This cushion is kind of multi-purpose as well. You'll see this is a hard plastic top on here, and we do have little cup holders. So if you choose to use this as a nightstand and you want to get back here and eat or have a glass of coffee or a glass of tea, you have somewhere to set it that you don't have to worry about it spilling. So for storage in the bedroom, on either side we will have these deep storage compartments that also have hanging storage up at the top. So if you travel with clothing that you don't want to get wrinkled and don't want to fold up somewhere, you can hang it. And then we'll have storage drawers on either side. So again, if you travel as a couple, it's really nice to have sort of equivalent storage, so it's a his and a hers. And then both of these bed platforms will actually raise up. So pull this up, it's on gas struts that are more than strong enough to hold it. It allows you to top load this. Now, on this side, what's really cool is you actually have a little kind of hidden storage compartment all the way in the back here. That's only on this side, not on the other side. I always tell people what's nice about that is if you travel with anything, any kind of valuables or anything that you don't want anyone to be able to find, hide it in there, and more than likely no one's really going to know that this lifts up and that there's a compartment back there. Now, another thing to point out with our beds here, these are on what's called a Frawley system. So this replaces traditional springs, just provides a little bit more support for your mattress. Now, all the way in the back of our bedroom, we will have two storage compartments up above. Both of these have a cigarette outlet as well as a USB and a USB-C all the way on this side, and two 110 hookups right there. Same thing over here. So a good spot to, fold up some shorts and pants or whatever clothing you have, put it right there. We have these little night lights on either side. These are really cool because there's a blue light as well as like a lamp light. So if you're back here with your partner and you're the kind of person that wants to, stay up late and read a book at night, and they're the one that wants to go to bed at 8:30 like I normally do, you're not going to bother me because you got the blue light on instead of, the lamp light. So just a nice little feature. Up here, again, we have this little 110s right there, cigarette outlet, USB and USB-C, so you can charge all your things there. And you have a little cutout right here, so you can drop your cords through. Really good spot to leave your phones at night, or if you want your phone, on your bedside or something, you just drop your cords down through here to charge your phone. Just kind of tidies up the mess a little bit. Now again, in the back, we have the same windows that we have everywhere else. So we can open these all the way, put our day shades down. If you're at a campground, especially here in Colorado where the weather is, always beautiful overnight, you leave these windows open, you're gonna get all the air back here. You won't even have to run your AC or your heat. These also have the option to kind of have them in an intermediate spot right there. So you'll see when it's locked like that, we have just a little bit of a gap in these windows. So they're not all the way open, no rain or anything is going to get in, but that's just going to allow a little bit of air to come through here while you're camping. Make sure you're getting fresh air. On the back wall right there, there is an option to put a TV here. So we have a cable hookup and the 110's up above. So if you wanted to, you can mount a TV right there and have one TV in the bedroom. So we'll talk about the AC and the heating in this real quick. So this has a 13.5K BTU AC. Now we saw where to control that up front. What's really important about the AC in this is that it is actually ducted AC. So a lot of, you know, Class B vans, it's not ducted AC, it's just the AC dump is right there in one spot, and it doesn't circulate very well. This has, I believe, 5 vents, air ducts throughout the coach, and you can close them. So what's really nice with that is if you're back here in the bedroom and you don't want to, you know, cool the front while you're sleeping, close all your AC vents up front, just leave these 2 open, and that's going to allow you to focus all your AC into one spot. Really important if you're camping in really hot climates, that you're not, you know, you want to be as efficient as possible with your heating and cooling in a coach. Also back there, you'll see the heat vent. Now again, those can be closed or opened throughout the coach. So if you're camping in a really cold climate, close every other heat vent except for the one in the bedroom. When you're sleeping at night, you'll focus all your heat back here. You also do have a nice curtain here. So again, if one of you wants to go to sleep, if you're traveling with multiple people and everyone else wants to stay up out there, close your curtain. Just give you a little bit of privacy back here for whatever you want to do. All right, so that'll cover it for the EKKO today. Again, if you have any questions, this is all my information right here. You can email me, you can text or call me at my personal number. This is one of my favorite products and I love to talk about it. So any questions or any more information you want, please reach out. Thanks for watching our video.